Grove Street for life, homie. For life. Today we're talking about Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably my favorite game in the Grand Theft Auto series. Question is, does my own opinion hold up when we look at it objectively? Let's find out. Get things started with the gameplay. Now the first thing you'll notice is there were vast improvements made to the shooting and melee mechanic. This is the first game where you can customize your appearance. And melee attacks can be changed once you've earned each individual move. My personal favorite is the Kung Fu because who doesn't want to be Bruce Lee? The driving controls remain top-notch. And there's a new part of the game called Taking Over, where you take over different gang turfs to expand the reach of the Grove. Think of it sort of like if you've played the more recent Saints Row games. Very same situation, only you have to do different missions in order to get each thing down. It's not, oh, you beat a mission, so now this is open. You see what I'm saying? This adds to the game's length, and it makes you want to go through and collect all of them, because if you can get rid of a gang entirely, then those characters are no longer there to fight you. Side quests and collectibles return and are just as fun as in previous titles. This game has even better characters than Vice City. More fleshed out, more comedic, and more dramatic when the situation calls for it. All I said, I give a gameplay for San Andreas an 8 out of 10. They did a fantastic job. Next up, we'll take a look at the soundtrack. There's some good 90s music here, but it's nothing really special. The sound effects and voice acting are top-notch. And in this game, that actually means something because it's a very personal story, unlike the previous two, which have been on bigger scales. Here it's not so much about trying to take over a city or even trying to get revenge. It's really just more about your main character trying to make his way back home. It's a down-home story, and the voice acting really makes you feel real. There are definitely some famous voice actors in here like Roy Nelson and Samuel L. Jackson. Both of their appearances are very funny and you recognize them almost immediately. Overall, I give the soundtrack for this game a 7 out of 10. It is well above average. Next up, we'll take a look at the graphics. Now, while still an older game, this game doesn't look bad. It is top of the line for the PS2, but honestly, it's on the low end for current consoles. You'll notice that the characters are very blocky, in particular the arms and hands. There is a little bit of pop-in graphics when you load, however you don't load near as often in this game as you had to in previous titles. And so overall I give the graphics for San Andreas a 6 out of 10. They tried their best, but honestly, it's still behind. Next up we'll take a look at the story. In this game you follow Carl Johnson, and I'm not going to bullshit you, he is my favorite GTA hero ever. The game begins with him coming home from Liberty City after he learns of his mother's death. What follows is his return to Grove Street, the gang life he once left behind. Now, not only is Carl a relatable hero, his family is as well. You have his brother Sweet, his friends Big Smoke and Ryder, his sister, and even his wannabe rapper friend OG Loke. I don't want to give away too much of this story, but it is without question the best story in the series, at least in my opinion. Twists, turns, betrayals, friends you didn't expect, enemies you didn't expect, fantastic game. Overall, I give the story for San Andreas a 10 out of 10. This is the perfect Grand Theft Auto, at least story-wise. Finally, let's take a look at customer care. Now, anyone who was big into news back then knows that this was the game with the now infamous hot coffee mod. If you don't know what that is, Google it, because I'm not getting into it here. While the so-called scandal didn't really bother me, Rockstar just laying down did. You always need to stand up for your product and defend it to the best of your ability, and frankly they didn't. They rolled over and acted like it was some sort of evil thing when in reality it was a fucking video game. Every time I hear people talking about, oh, what about the children? Like, it was an M-rated game. You fucked up by letting your kid play it. Overall, customer care earns an 8 out of 10. They did great, but their reactions to that mod just knocked them down a few notches. Overall, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas earns a 39 out of 50. It is a fantastic game. You can pick it up right now on the PSN, Xbox Live, and Steam. I know on the PSN it is $14.99. I'm relatively certain that's probably going to be the price across the board. That's it for this game. For more games or anything else gamer related, please head over to HoldTheLine.com. Until next time, my name is Vegagoose, saying that's my opinion. What's yours? I'll see you next time.